What's up, everybody? It's your boy Hook, back with another video. Now let's just address the elephant in the room off the jump. It's been a while. I realized that, you know what I mean? It's been a while. We're gonna just move past it, move forward with some new videos coming to you soon. Now with the season kind of being a quarter way through, everyone's played just under 30 games, but over 25. I figured I'd come in here and give you an update on teams that are, I'll say, overachieving and surprising, and then some teams that are underwhelming, and not going to focus on every team, every player, just some teams and some players that have been in the headlines the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to start right in the East Coast, and we're going to talk about Cleveland and Boston, two teams that, to me, I think have really surprised a lot of people. They've surprised me at least. Boston is playing great. They went on that 16-game winning streak a couple weeks ago. They even won some games without Kyrie. Kyrie's really been balling well. They've been really playing well as a team. They're playing better defensively than I thought they would as well, because we all know Kyrie's not the greatest defender, and they lost some defenders in the trade, but they're still finding a way to win games, and win games well. Now, if I made this video a week or two ago, I would have been saying how the Cavs are scaring everybody. They're not looking like they should. But LeBron put the team on his back, as he does, and I knew he would. And they're playing well again. Their record is kind of looking a little more respectable, and they're looking like they probably should have looked from the beginning. However, I will say this: the rest of the team still needs to pick it up, because LeBron is putting up MVP type numbers. Like, LeBron hasn't. Now, this is something to say. We say LeBron puts up MVP type numbers every year, because every year his numbers are crazy, and this year his numbers are some of the best years he's ever had, which is also still crazy to think, because he's old. He's getting older and older every year, and he's keep putting up better and better numbers. However, we all know LeBron likes to coast in the regular season and likes to really turn it up for the postseason. He cannot play like this for the rest of the season. If he does, he's gonna be gassed by the postseason. Now, gas for LeBron is still all-star level, but he's not going to be able to, average a triple-double in the finals again if he's playing like this now throughout the whole season, because he's just not going to have it in the tank. You're going to see the LeBron that we saw a couple years ago in the Miami Spurs matchup in the finals the year the Spurs won, when LeBron was gassed, he was having cramps, because it was too hot, and he just looked tired, he looked exhausted, because he was putting on for the whole season. LeBron cannot play like that anymore, because he's just older. He can put up those numbers, but he can't put those numbers every day. And right now, he has to put those numbers up for the Cavs to win. So the bench, the other players, they got to step up. Isaiah Thomas should be back in a week or two. Derrick Rose may be back in a couple months, because it looks like he's got to get surgery now. But the Cavs, on paper, they still look good, and their record looks good. They shouldn't hit the panic button yet, but LeBron can't keep playing like this. Now, a team that's honestly surprising me are the Indiana Pacers. Victor Oladipo has been hooping this year, and I always knew I always knew he had it in him. He could ball. He was balling like this in Orlando. The record wasn't reflecting it, but he was hooping in Orlando before he went to the Thunder. But this team is better than the team he had in Orlando. He has a legitimate big man. Lance Stevenson is there. Like, he has good players around him. I would say Lance Stevenson honestly could be a candidate for most improved. However, I don't think he'll get it, because he's put up these numbers before. He's shown that he could be this type of player. He just wasn't that type of player last year, because Russ didn't share the ball. If they just go off of last year's improvement, last year compared to this year, to me, he's the top candidate for most improved, because the numbers he put up this year are complete 180 from the numbers he put up last year. And the Pacers are looking good. They're in the playoff run right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if they finish out the year making the playoffs. So now I'm going to go out west and talk about the Houston Rockets. They surprised me. I saw them being the top 3 team in the league in the West. But James Harden is balling. The addition of Chris Paul has been great for them. They're 11-0 when he played. They're on the 10-0 win streak since he got back from his injury. They're doing great, in my opinion. I think that a lot of people didn't know if they'd be able to play together. I said before, they wanted the ball together. They were going to figure it out, and they figured it out. I don't know if we're going to be able to both average double-digit assists all season. I think by the end of the season, it'll drop down to maybe one's having double digits, one's at like 9, 8, which is super close to double digits. So they might be able to pull it off. If they do, it'd be amazing. Watching them play, watching that ball move around, their ball movement is great. Everybody on that team, like I said before, has a strap, and they all let it fly as soon as the ball gets in their hands. They're going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs. Dangerous enough to beat the Warriors? I don't know. I'll say that. I don't know. But a dangerous team nonetheless. Speaking of the Warriors, let's just go right into them. They're looking pretty good this year as usual. Nothing's really surprising me. Steph Curry's out right now for his ankle injury, but they'll be fine without him. They still got KD. They got everybody else. Swaggy P, I haven't watched enough of their games to really know how Swaggy P's been impacting him. From the stats he's getting, he's not, a game changer. I didn't think he would be a game changer, but he's adding the depth. He's getting some buckets. He's had a couple of games where he's had double-digit points. So he's making an impact. I want him to make a bigger impact because I low-key like Swaggy P. I think he's a knucklehead at times, and he's a hard-headed at times. But for the most part, I think he's a decent player. So I would like to see him get a couple more minutes. But at the same time, the Warriors got a formula, and they're not gonna mess it up for nobody. The Timberwolves are another team that's doing really well. They put a lot of players together, a lot of low-ego players, and they're making it work. Jimmy Butler just had a career high the other night, 38 points, and they're hooping. I don't see them going higher than 4th. They might even slide down to maybe 5th, but I think they're definitely, the way they've played so far, they're good enough to keep that 4th spot and, get them home court advantage in that first round. Now, I can't talk about one team that made a lot of moves and not talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder, they're perplexing me, okay? So, I don't like to talk bad about coaches, because I've seen way too many coaches and way too many good coaches in this league who got, their team over 500 with players who should not have been playoff contention get fired for no reason. Now, however, from when I've watched the Thunder play, is way too much iso ball going. Yes, you got a lot of iso players, but the coaches got to be able to use them in a different way to find a system that works with these ISO players to get them the ball movement, get some player movement. If you watch a Thunder game, if Melo get the ball on the post, everybody stops moving. If Russ gets the ball, if Russ brings the ball up, if he doesn't attack the basket, he passes it, and then he just stands at the top of the key. Paul George stands on the wing, waits for the ball to come to him, and then attacks. No one's moving on that team at all. I like Billy Donovan. I really, really do. I think he was a great coach past couple years of what they had. But I don't know if he's the one to coach this team. If you ask me, Hawk, who do you think should coach this team? I don't have an answer for you because I don't know. But because they got a lot of, this is why I say it might be they got a lot of moves to make. The GM's, the owner, they have a lot to think about. Paul George is a free agent this summer. We all know that I said it before, unless they were like a top 4 seed, Paul George is walking. So it's 8 weeks to the trade deadline. Do you say, it doesn't look like we're going to make it, it doesn't look like we're going to be a top 4 seed? Do we trade Paul George? Do we try to find a new coach to keep Paul George? What do you do? It's a lot to think about. And if you do re-sign Paul George, you keep all three of those stars, they got some hefty contracts. You're going to be in a luxury tax. Are you going to be able to afford to get other players around them to build? It's a lot to think about. And it would have been easier to make some of these decisions if they were winning right now. They're not winning. And yes, I know, like I said, we're only 30 games into the season, but we passed the quarter mark. Like, they should have picked up some steam by now and, been making some moves and really been winning games. They're not closing out games well. They're not. It's just ugly basketball to watch, to be honest with you. And as an Oklahoma fan, it's not enjoyable to watch. Knowing the potential of these 3 All-Stars on the floor, I don't know what's wrong. And the last person I just touched on today, giving my quick thoughts off the top of the head, I wanted to talk about Lonzo Ball. Only because he gets so much attention from the media because of his family, his dad, his brothers in China, his younger, now both his brothers got pulled from UCLA and high school. Now they're playing in Lithuania. It's a lot of media surrounding the Ball family and Lonzo Ball. All I want to say is, because I see a lot of people calling him a bust, a lot of people saying he's playing terrible, and I, honestly, a week and a half ago, I was one of those people talking a lot of smack about Lonzo. However, the only thing I'm going to say is, let's, look at him objectively, and let's look at him not looking at the media, not looking at his family. Let's just look at him as a baller. And he's not playing that bad. Yes, his shooting is abysmal, but he's affecting the game in other ways. Rebounds, assists, a steal every now and then. A block every now and then. He's got some length and some athleticism a little bit. But he's young. He needs to put some weight on, like get in the gym. And if you compare his numbers to some, Hall of Famers in their first 25 games, he's not doing that off. A lot of people have had some bad stats in their first 25 games, shooting-wise, I'll say. Jason Kidd, one of them. And now, if you don't watch this guy on YouTube called Mike Kurzimba, he made a great video, and that's kind of what put me on to thinking about Lonzo objectively. I'll put his link in the description. Just give Lonzo a shot. That's all I'm going to say. I think he has the potential to be a good point guard in this league. He has the vision. He has the ability to pass the ball, to rebound, things like nature. If he just can shoot, he'll be 10 times better. Literally, he'll be 10 times better if he can shoot. Same thing with Ben Simmons. If he can shoot, because Ben Simmons is already getting the assists and rebounds, and he's scoring better than Lonzo because Ben Simmons is bigger and he can drive to the basket. But Ben Simmons can't shoot either, like at all. He hasn't attempted. I was looking at his stats with my boy. He hasn't attempted a three-pointer all year. So give Lonzo a shot, give Ben a shot, let them work on their jumpers, and I think they're going to be really nice to the league, in a couple years. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. I'm not going to say when the next videos will be because I don't want to be a liar. But hopefully sometime next week. This has been your boy Hawk. I'm out. Peace.